Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new to my channel, welcome. My name is Lisa and I produce beauty related content here on YouTube. On Fridays, I do a series called Feel Good Fridays where I talk more about health, fitness, well-being, because that's a big passion of mine as well. So today's Friday. Actually, it's not. Today's Thursday. Tomorrow is Friday when this video is going to be going up, so that's what we're going to talk about today. It is Thursday night about 9 p.m. and this is going to be going up tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. So I'm going to be filming this tonight, editing it, and getting it up in the morning. A lot more last minute than I typically do for my videos. I've been kind of struggling all week with what I wanted to do for this week's Feel Good Friday series, and there's one topic that's really important to me that I've talked a little bit about in past videos, but I really haven't made a separate video for or addressed it in its own video. And I had several messages come to me this week from subscribers and then from a blogger that I subscribe to that kind of like put it in my lap, and it really just made me think like, okay, this is the topic I want to talk about on Friday. And it's self-love, really. I mean, that's kind of what it comes down to, but I want to kind of share with you a little bit about my story with weight loss and weight gain and weight maintaining, and just kind of my journey when it comes to like to body image issues and all of that. I've talked about this on my blog, so if you've ever read this blog post that I'll share down below, you'll get a little bit more insight, but I don't think I've ever done a separate video, so that's what we're going to do today. So it is going to be a video that's going to be kind of rambling. There's not a whole lot of format or direction that I've planned out for this. I'm just kind of letting myself go. So if you don't like these videos or you don't like it when people ramble, then you might not like this video. But I feel like it's the best way to talk about topics like this that are so personal, you know? So to kind of give you a little, to kind of condense this into something that's not an hour-long movie, my background, you know, growing up, I didn't really have a lot of exposure to fitness or health or nutrition or anything like that. And it wasn't until I had gained a lot of weight when I was about 18, 19 years old that I really kind of started taking an interest in exercising and watching what I eat and losing weight. So when I was about 18 or 19, I gained like 35, 40 pounds over the course of about a year or so, which is a lot because I'm 5'2", so that was a lot of weight for my small frame. So when I started exercising, I didn't really know what I was doing. I just kind of joined an all-women's gym and I just started going, and you know, I was just running on a treadmill for 45 minutes or getting on the elliptical. I didn't lift a single weight for probably the first 4 or 5 months that I was in the gym, and I didn't change my diet at all. I was still eating fast food late at night because I was young and I was out really late with my friends, and you know, the health, the nutrition part of the puzzle was not there yet. And I kind of continued down that route for about, I don't know, like 3 or 4 months, and I lost like 5 pounds. So I was really frustrated because I was doing all this work, 5 or 6 days a week of working out, and only 5 pounds after 3 or 4 months. It was very discouraging. Then I discovered I discovered about counting calories and cutting back your consumption of calories in addition to working out, and then after that, within about 3 months, I lost 35 pounds. So it just fell off when I put the nutrition part of the puzzle there. I'm not going to go into too much detail about all of that or about what I ate or anything like that. To be honest, when I look at that, that type of diet I wouldn't promote today because it was a lot of diet-free or sugar-free diet foods, you know, sugar-free this. It was all calories, so I didn't care what chemicals were in my food. I didn't care what nutrition was lacking, like protein or fiber or whole foods. I didn't care if that was in there or not. I just cared about what did that calorie content say. So it wasn't the most healthy way to eat, but it did help me lose weight. So then after a few years of exercising and just really getting hooked, I started to learn more about clean eating and all of that. And then a couple of years after that, I decided to compete in one of those fitness competitions. You've probably heard about them, or maybe you've seen one of your friends on Facebook doing them. They've gained a lot of popularity over the last couple of years. And so I did one of those competitions, and you know, to be very honest, it was very damaging to me, I had already had issues with food. You know, I had already had like a sweet tooth, and I was already kind of known to just like diet and then kind of like, I wouldn't say binge eat, but at the time, you know, I would diet, and then when I would indulge, I would just take it overboard because I was so restrictive on my mindset most of the time, that when I allowed myself to have something that was a restricted food, I just, in my opinion, having one candy bar was just as bad as having 5. And so I would do that. But then when I started competing and training, it really just got worse because I got even more restrictive and I was working out even harder, and I was doing a lot of damage to my body. And I just, you know, I wasn't, it just wasn't a good place for me. I remember, long story short, as I did that for about 4 or 5 months, I did this competition. I placed second. I did really well. I qualified to go to a national competition with that, but I never did. Remember being, 107 pounds or something, tiny, and really very hardly any body fat, and being tiny. And I remember being so unhappy with the way that I looked still. I looked in a mirror and I was just finding every flaw, or I was making up flaws. I was looking in my mirror thinking that my butt was too soft, or my thighs were too soft, or I had the cellulite here. I was very delusional, to be honest. And I have kind of struggled with that most of my life, looking at myself in that way. And I think maybe a lot of women do. I think as I've gotten older, I've gotten better. And today, at 34 and having 2 children, especially daughters, I'm a lot more aware of those thoughts, and I am working to overcome that. And I have come a very, very long way. But I think that age has kind of helped with that. Confidence, I've gained a lot more confidence over the years. I think being a mother and just really kind of evaluating like priorities and what's more important in my life. And, to me, it's not so important to be this perfect size 0 or size 2 with I don't care about that. I mean, of course I want to be healthy and I want to look and feel good, but I also want to enjoy my life, and I just don't want to be I always compared like dieting to being in a food jail, like there were so many things I could not do because I was trying to, achieve this fitness, or I was trying to achieve this fitness goal. There were so many things I couldn't do. I couldn't go out with my friends. I couldn't have a glass of wine. I couldn't go out to dinner, I mean, it was just, I couldn't do this. I felt like I was in a food jail. And so life to me now is I want to be able to enjoy those things. Yes, I still want to look good and feel good, but I will compromise a bit more, and I don't care if my stomach's a little softer or whatever. But anyway, I'm getting into this because I got a comment the other night from a subscriber, and I want to read it just a little bit. I did ask her permission if she would mind if I read it, but I wanted to read it because I just really, really loved it. But basically she says, because of health reasons, I have to eat a high protein diet with lots of nutrient-rich veggies like spinach, kale, greens. And she says she's done her best to eliminate processed sugar and all the junk like that. I think that our minds have a tendency to revolt at words like diet, and they make us want unhealthy things because it's things that are kind of off limits. It's just a mindset. And then she says, I'm 51 and my body has changed, and I've accepted and even embraced the fact that I will never look like I did in my 20s and my 30s. And that really resonated with me because I'm 34, and I know, I get a lot of comments on here sometimes from people that are like, when I post a mature skin video and they're like, you're so young, you don't know what mature skin is and this and that. And, I understand that, but I'm also, aside from that, I'm a makeup artist and I know what works well in mature skin, and that's kind of my approach. But even so, I'm 34 and my body doesn't look like it did when I was 24. I've had 2 children, and my body looks a different way because of having children, and that's just the way it is. And I think I'm just learning to kind of love my body and appreciate it and just be proud of what it has done and not be so critical of it, and just accept that I'm not going to look like I did before I had kids in a bikini. I'm not going to, but that's okay, and just stop trying to have these expectations to try and look like that, because it's not going to happen without, surgery or something. Another thing I think is it's so easy to compare ourselves to other people. It's so easy to get on social media and just go down that rabbit hole of comparing yourself to people that may seem to have this ideal life that you feel like you don't have or something, or look a way that you feel like you wish you looked or something. And first of all, social media is another thing. It's like with all the filters and all the stuff that we edit, I mean, most of us don't even look like we look on our social media accounts in real life. So let's just get that out of the way. It just kind of brings me back to that statement I heard once. It came from somewhere. I didn't make this up, and I know my friend didn't make this up who shared it with me, but it's called "Comparison is the thief of joy." And I love that because I think that's so true in so many different areas, not just comparing yourself to the way you look and someone else looks, or comparing your success to someone else, or your lack of success to someone's success, or whatever it might be. But comparison is the thief of all joy. And I think that we live in a society where we compare ourselves a lot, and we're always trying to get ahead or trying to get the next best thing. Or it's so easy to forget to just stop and look around and say, wow, look at what I have, you know, or appreciate what you have, whether it's the material things or it's the relationships that you have or it's the body that you've worked hard for, you know, and maybe you feel like you still have room to grow or get better, but, you know, just stop for a moment and appreciate where you're at. You know, I love that. I think too, you know, I have really struggled with my relationship with food and kind of why I make decisions to eat certain ways. And I think that, and I talked about this in my blog post that I do want you guys to read if you get a chance. I think that, I don't know, it's just a piece I'm really proud of because it's very personal for me. I used to work out because I hated my body and I wanted this, I was working towards getting this body I thought I didn't have. And now I work out because I love my body and I just want to feel good and feel healthy and feel strong and have energy. And so I think that it's that kind of change of mindset, you know, that just really helps you sustain it for a lifetime, because it's not about, you know, dieting really hard or doing some crazy diet or exercising in the gym for a short period of time just to lose the weight or get in the shape you want and then stopping, because you'll never maintain that. You really have to make it a lifestyle. And the only way I think to sustain that is to have a positive perspective on food and nutrition and exercise and health and all of that. And do it because you love yourself, not because you hate yourself, you know? So that was one message that came to me this week that really kind of inspired me to post this video. Another thing, this morning I got an email from a blogger that I follow, and I'm going to share her information down below. Her name is Jennifer Young, and her blog is called foreverstyle.com. And I met her earlier this year. We have a mutual friend that owns a boutique here in Austin. Really, really sweet woman, and I love her newsletters. They're always positive and uplifting, and this one was no exception. This actually came in my inbox today, so you might still be able to receive it if you sign up to her newsletter. It's called the newsletter is titled Think Thin, and it's all about your mindset and self-love. But there was a couple of things that she included in this newsletter on ways to love yourself and give yourself affirmations and just really appreciate your body. But one thing that really resonated with me is just not putting yourself down. You know, I think as women, it's so easy for us to complain about our weight or to complain, you know, or it's hard for us to accept a compliment. I know it's really hard for me to accept a compliment. I always feel like someone says, "Oh, you look so great." I'm like, "Oh, really?" You know, and it's like I don't believe it, or I reject it instead of saying, "Oh, thank you." You know, I feel like I need to kind of reject it, or I don't want to sound conceited or vain or this or that, and you know, it's okay to say thank you. It's okay to say thank you, you know? But I think that I hear women, and myself included, you know, just talk about, "Oh, I feel so fat," or, "Oh, you know, I need to lose 5 pounds," or whatever. And I think that it's just stuff that we have to be aware of, because when you have those thoughts filling your head, it's just harder for you to find peace with yourself and love your body for where it's at. And also too, it sets I think a terrible example for our children. You know, I think of my little girls, and I don't want them to ever hear me complain about being overweight or fat or anything like that. I remember my oldest daughter used the word fat once, and it just kind of broke my heart, because, you know, I was talking to her and I was saying that she was my little baby, you know, and that she's like, "I'm a big girl." And then we were just kind of going back and forth, and I said, "No, mommy's a big girl," you know, like meaning I'm a big girl, you're a little girl, you know. And she goes, "Well, you're a big girl, but you're not fat," is what she said. And it kind of like stopped me in my tracks. So I was like, where did she learn that? Or where does she, I don't know. I don't want my daughters to ever worry about that, or I want their motivation for exercise and eating healthy to come from wanting to feel good and be healthy, and not from wanting to be skinny or be, you know, not fat or something. So, but anyway, I just wanted to kind of share my thoughts. I don't want to go on too much longer on this topic. I know this video is a little kind of all over the place, but I don't really do videos like this very often, and it is a topic that is important to me, and it's a topic I've shared in other platforms, and I just wanted to share it here on my channel. So thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know your thoughts on this topic down below and how you feel about it, or what you think. I don't know, I just hope this video can kind of resonate with you or make a positive impact in some way for you. You know, I can honestly say that as a makeup artist, I always see the beauty in everybody. I've never done a makeup application on someone that I did not find something beautiful about them. I think that we are all beautiful people, and I think that we all have something unique about us, regardless of our physical features. I just think that, you know, it's important to love yourself and important to appreciate yourself and appreciate your uniqueness. And I just wanted to share that with you guys. So anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys have a fantastic weekend. Thank you for those of you that have sent me messages that worried about us and the hurricane that's coming to Texas. We are actually about 3.5 miles from the coast, so we're pretty safe. We do expect a lot of rain this weekend, so it'll probably be a low-key weekend inside, hanging out and watching movies with our kids. So anyway, I appreciate your thoughts. Thank you so much. I hope you guys have a great weekend, and I will see you guys in my next video.